Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas GK. The Home Minister introduced 3 bills in the Lok Sabha today that seek to overhaul the criminal justice system of the country. Amidst, while speaking on the new bills, also talked about punishing marriage frauds as per the proposed law. Anyone who makes a promise to marry a woman without the intention of fulfilling it, has sexual intercourse with her, shall be punished with imprisonment of up to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. The bill says deceitful means includes false promise of employment or promotion or marrying after suppressing identity.
महिलाओं के प्रति अपराध और सामाजिक समस्याओं के निपटान के लिए भी हमने ढेर सारे किए हैं। शादी, रोजगार, पदोन्नति के झूठे वादे और गलत पहचान प्रकट कर जो यौन संबंध बनाते थे, उसको अपराध की श्रेणी में पहली बार नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार लाए।
This move is in line with Supreme Court's direction to the centre to step in on deceitful religious conversions and to curb it. In strong observations, the top court had said in November 2022 that religious conversions by means of force, allurement or fraud may ultimately affect the security of the nation and freedom of religion and conscience of citizens. But the opposition is already viewing the proposed law with suspicion, saying communal agenda is in the new provisions.
लव जिहाद नाम का कोई कंसेप्ट ही नहीं है। लव है, जिहाद है। लव जिहाद का क्या है? कोई भी शख्स किसी भी समुदाय का हो, किसी लड़की को झूठ बोलता है, इंपर्सोनेशन करता है, चीट करता है, फेक आइडेंटिटी दिखाता है और उसके साथ अगर किसी भी तरह का संबंध बनाता है तो बिल्कुल अधिकार लड़की को उसके खिलाफ केस करने का। मगर आप सिर्फ एक ही कंसेप्ट लव जिहाद दिखाएगी, सिर्फ एक ही समुदाय को टारगेट करना है आपको लव जिहाद करके।
What is love jihad? India is a secular country by constitution. Secular country means that everyone is free to preach, practice and profess whatever religion they want. Their intention is to create a communal divide so that they can reap this thing for political gains.
प्यार पे प्रतिबंध लगाना लाए थे तो लव जिहाद लाए थे। वो कौन सा एक और योगी जी आए थे तो कानून उत्तर प्रदेश में लेके रोमियो जूलियट पता नहीं क्या क्या लेके आया करते हैं। ये प्यार के दुश्मन हैं, इनको प्यार से बड़ी नफरत है। ये नफरती लाल हैं, चाहे वो सेंट्रल में नफरती लाल हो और चाहे उत्तर प्रदेश के नफरती लाल हो।
The BJP, on the other hand, welcomed the announcement by the Home Minister saying the new law will crack down on people who marry women by deceit.
Well, under the new Indian Citizen Safety Code and under the new Indian Judicial Code, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, now love jihad will be part of it, where anyone doing love jihad and by deceitful means cheating a woman will be prosecuted under the new laws. This is a very welcome step by the Government of India.
Let's take this across to our panelists. Joining us is Ratan Shah, the author. Nirmal Kaur is a former IPS officer. With us on the panel also is Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst. Kamruzaman Chaudhary is leader of the Congress Party. Khaliqur Rahman is leader of the BRS. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, let me begin by asking you if this clause 69 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has protection for women who could be cheated by deceitful means and sexual intercourse is engaged with. There is protection for these women as per this new provision of law. Why is this being called a law against love jihad? Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Madhav, you named Mughal Sarai, you renamed Aurangzeb Road. Has anything changed? Nothing. Now you are taking in the section 493 of the Indian Penal Code, section 496 of the Indian Penal Code, renaming it into another sections of your what you call this Nyaya Sanhita. I can't even read the name properly. Anyway, I'm very sorry for that. Now, what does section 493 say? And you compare that with what Amit Shah has said today in the parliament or the bill that he has published in the public domain. Let me read a particular relevant section of the section 4. Madhav, somebody gives a false promise, false identity, false religious, his identity, or maybe saying that I'm a government servant, he turns out to be a lower division clerk. Is that not a deceit? He says that I'm a Hindu going to marry a Muslim, marry another Hindu. In fact, he was a Muslim. So that is also a deceit by law. any woman who feels cheated.
So what is the
under-
problem with this? Is this not religion agnostic? This law does not discriminate on the
That's what
basis of
point,
religion.
Madam, that's what the point you must understand. That this is a totally a majoritarian appeasement law that is being brought out by Amit Shah and his government.
How
just
is it?
to cater
No,
to
how
the-
is it majoritarian? That's exactly my question
Because
to you. Can you
these
explain to us?
provisions- Madhav, do you dispute what I've stated, section 493 and section 495?
Sir,
if
see,
not,
no,
then
because
what was
Mr.
the need
Chaudhary, Mr. Chaudhary, let me just come in here. You can either say that this is a new law that is being brought in for what you are calling quote unquote majoritarian appeasement. That can be a position. But then either you have a problem with the fact that it is old wine packaged in a new bottle, or it's a fact that there is some kind of discriminatory clause in this. Both those arguments can't work together. Can they, Kamruzaman Chaudhary?
No, where is the paradox out here, Madhav? I'm just saying that the laws have already existed in India since time immemorial.
Okay.
We have heard some judgments also from the Supreme Court, or let it be in the cases of what you call this, the Kerala Love Jihad. That was the famous case where the Supreme Court accepted the marriage angle of the couple out
Okay.
here. So there needs to be an uniformity in the judgment between the various high courts and the interpretation of the Supreme Court.
So,
the lower court,
so will the new code not do that? Will the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita not do that?
no, Madhav, I am amused. How does it make a difference? Already the laws are existing.
Okay,
Then
Ratan
what was the need
Sharda.
to
Ratan
change it?
Sharda. Let me bring in Mr. Ratan Sharda. On the one hand, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary says that it's old wine packaged in a new bottle. Already there were provisions of IPC 493, 375, etc. that dealt with such a situation. At the same time, he says that this is majoritarian appeasement. Please respond to him.
First of all, let me respond to the question of majoritarianism. I request him to go to my YouTube called Ratan Sharda. See an interview I had done a year back with Christian clerics of Kerala who have documented case of 4,000 cases of marriage by deceit, conversion by deceit, and what you today call love jihad. Are they all false? Are they majoritarian? So question is whether deceitful conversion by whomsoever, whether Christian, Muslim or Hindu, whomsoever, and wrong impersonation. Impersonation happens somebody like somebody like Basha calls him Bhagwan and goes says I am a Hindu and then marries and tells the girl that I am actually a Muslim, you have to convert. Is that not a fraud? So any law which penalizes a fraud has to be accepted. It is not old. If it is already there, then why do you call it a majoritarian? It's already there. But you expect a woman who is harassed, who is persecuted, oppressed in the home she has got married, to go and file a case rather than having a summary trial of the person who has cheated her. So you want the women to suffer. The basic problem with this mullah following people is they want women to suffer. They have no faith, support for women who suffer under gender injustice, and they will keep on defending triple talaq. They will defend this change in the law. Law minister hasn't even called it love jihad. You are calling it love jihad. Courts called it love jihad. The Christian clerics called it love jihad. Law doesn't say it's love jihad. It's a law which says impersonation by deceit, by fraud is so penalized.
Can I counter 10 seconds?
Okay. Quick response, Mr. Chaudhary, because the other panelists as well. Quick response, please.
He has cited some 4,000 cases out there, out of nowhere. But Madhav, does the census of India...
He says he has documented them.
No, he has documented. That's another issue. His document, I don't know how many people...
What document? I said
it.
I will give you the name of the clerics, meet them, ask them for the records.
You are quoting. Let me finish, Ratanji. Let me finish. I've got a very limited...
You cannot doubt people. You cannot throw allegations like a majoritarianism and all that without looking at what people are saying.
That's what I'm speaking. I am here on this debate with proper facts and data. Let me give you one example then. Let me give you one example then.
I have not gone to High Court. No, you cannot call it majoritarian. It's a saving on the
will
women.
Ratan Sharda accept that the Hadia Jahan case, which was Hadia Jahan or the Akhila Asokan case of Kerala, was first termed as a love jihad case? Now what happened to that? Both the couples said that we are in love and we want to live together.
Women feel they are cheated.
Now my main question to Madhav, through you, let me ask one simple question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a simple question, Madhav, if you permit me. I cannot speak over him. I'm on a remote location. I can't speak over him.
Okay, we can hear both of you. We can hear both of you loud and clear.
And challenge it.
Madhav, I got one question through you. My moot question is, How many love cases,
Don't throw allegations
what do you
like
call this, inter-religious cases have been recorded by the Census of India? Zero. Because they did not have a provision to record inter-religious cases.
Okay.
Second point.
Okay.
Second point. As per the records of Indian courts, rather, where they record the inter-religious marriages,
Right.
just 2.1% of the inter-religious marriages have been recorded in India last year.
Okay. Okay.
So
Then why-
is that
then why
that
are
much
you-
an
So the problem-
alarm?
so
Now
the problem-
point is here.
So is it a problem that, so is this a systemic problem that has come up now, Kamruzaman Chaudhary?
Even if woman is cheated,
Can you repeat once again, Madhav? I can't
Why
get
should
you.
they-
Mr. Chaudhary, the reason that's a relevant point, but in this particular context, is it really something that has started in this particular regime? I don't think so. That may be a systemic problem. Certainly, of course, a problem that perhaps requires a redressal. But let me quickly bring in other panelists because there are many others who have not yet spoken, and I want to ask a simple question of Abdul Raza Khan. Abdul Raza Khan, the law, at least from what I can read of the 4 lines of this clause 69, has not mentioned any religion. It does not mention any, caste, community, so on and so forth. It just talks about deceitful means. And deceitful means includes false promise of employment, promotion, inducement or marriage after suppressing identity. Why, then object to such a law, which has not mentioned in any way any kind of religious or, community or region or any kind of discrimination?
Very neatly this has been introduced in the parliament. First of all, I would say, these people who were against interfaith marriages are today trying to safeguard, their community by bringing in these kind of laws. If tomorrow, if somebody wants to have interfaith sexual relationship, should that person has to go ahead and, file an affidavit stating that this is my real identity? Because tomorrow if the girl
What are you saying, sir?
no, he did not reveal his identity.
What are you saying?
He's gone for 10 years.
No, so you're saying people who concede the identity should be protected according to you. What is your argument, Mr. Abdul Raza Khan?
No, what I'm trying to say is Amit Shah should not be inspired by propaganda movies like Kerala Story. Parliamentary acts, when being introduced, should be backed up with some kind of data.
Where does this
It should be backed up with some kind of data. It should be backed up with...
Go to the court.
I'm saying he should have come out and said like so many people
Abdul Raza Khan, Abdul Raza Khan, did you have a problem with 493 IPC? Simple question. Do you have a problem with 493 IPC?
Sir, that is... So why introduce this bill? Is it not optics ahead of election? You said it right.
So this is just optics.
I know 495. So why introduce this bill?
So this bill is not just for those sections, it's the entire penal code, sir. It is the entire penal code. So obviously provisions.
Madhav, you said it right.
Abdul Raza Khan, let me ask you a simple question. IPC 302, murder is being replaced with another clause here. So will you say that there should be no punishment for murder now?
I will.
The point I'm making is there are provisions that were there in the law earlier. When they are being reintroduced, why are the objections? That's a simple question.
Sir, my point here is, Madhav, the government cannot directly say love jihad because that is a fake cooked up story by the people of RSS. So this is a kind of law that is being introduced. Not being introduced, just been, the bill has been passed today. What I'm trying to convey, it is to target a specific community. They know what they're doing. This is nothing but appeasement of the Hindu community of this country.
Okay.
That
Tushar Gupta.
Somebody goes out and
Tushar Gupta.
let
Tushar come in, please. Yeah, Tushar Gupta. This is appeasement of Hindu community as per Mr. Abdul Raza Khan. It's a bogey called love jihad, which is sought to be justified with such provisions of law, is his statement. And it's not backed up by data as well, is his claim. Please respond to this.
Good evening, Madhav. When someone says that the change in this law is appeasement to Hindus, are they indirectly confessing that Hindu women have been a victim of a crime where the identity of the male has been faked or suppressed intentionally? Are they indirectly confessing it? And I'm not getting into a religion, into a caste, into community, anything. The new clause simply states suppression of identity. That can be anything. It can be faking your age. It can be developing a relationship with a minor while faking your age. It can be faking your religion. It can be lying about your identity in terms of financial status, economic status, social status. It can be anything. It says suppression of identity. It does not say love jihad. It does not mention a religion, minority or majority. So why are these conclusions being drawn?
Right.
And Madhav, another important point. We have a huge population which is on social media today, and there have been complaints which have surfaced on Twitter by activists. Even police departments have mentioned it that there are people.
Abdul, let him speak. Abdul Razak Khan, let him make his point, please. You can respond to Abdul Razak Khan, but don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Let him make his point.
Hold on, Mr. Khan. And Madhav, there have been state police departments who have voiced their concerns that on social media, there have been cases where people have suppressed their identity and have been trapping minors who are fresh out of school, which creates another set of vicious loop. So if there is a law which deals with this in the harshest possible manner, why is it being called majority appeasement?
Okay.
Can tomorrow not a girl or a young boy of minority be heard the same way? How does it become majority appeasement? Are we now looking at the religion of the victims while drafting a law? Is what these panelists are saying? If they are, I'm utterly appalled.
And Abdul Razak Khan, the simple point is this, that tomorrow, if a Hindu man cheats a Muslim girl, also this law will apply. So why just bring up this bogey of, one religion being targeted or one religion being appeased?
Mother, what I'm trying to say is whenever you introduce a bill, you will need to back it up with some kind of data that this is happening in this country with so many years, so many cases in so many states. Because of this, we are introducing the bill. Simply you bring in the bill and you go ahead and say that, कोई संबंध बनाने से पहले अपनी पहचान छुपा लेता है, इसके लिए तो पहली बार मोदी सरकार ने हिलाई तो सब लोग छाती थपथपाते हैं, टेबल थपथपाते हैं. Come on, for that reasons I'm saying it is very clear. You can see the optics, the way it is presented, what has happened in the past 3, 6, 8 months. Come on, this is all built up over a propaganda.
Tushar wants to respond to you. Yes, quick response please, Tushar, then move across to other panelists. Yes, Tushar.
When there are laws already existing.
Mr. Khan doesn't understand one simple thing. We are talking about criminal laws. They are supposed to be preventive in nature. We cannot wait for a threshold in terms of number of crimes before we draft a bill around it. And social media is a recent phenomena. In the last 6 years, we've added 500 million internet users. We have to be prepared for new sorts of crimes that are being committed. The number doesn't matter here. What can happen on internet, what is happening on internet in cases of the suppression of identity needs to be dealt with. So when Mr. Khan says I need data, he's absolutely wrong.
Okay. No, I think
महिला का सम्मान कैसे किया जा रहा है, ब्रिजभूषण शरण सिंह का केस सारा देश जानता है. और ये लोग महिला के सम्मान की बात कर रहे हैं और हम लोग इनकी बातों को मान लें. आप नहीं जानते कैसे टाइम्स नाउ की जर्नलिस्ट के साथ उसका वर्ताव था.
No, we have reported extensively. We have reported extensively, sir. We have reported extensively. Although the circumstances of punishment for those misrepresenting before intercourse or marriage, promising marriage, etc. I think the provisions are slightly different. Of course, you are also talking about the larger issue of protection of women's rights, and certainly Abdul Razak Khan, I respect your views. But let me quickly bring in other panelists. Let me bring in, fact, Mr. Khalikur Rahman, leader of the BRS. Mr. Rahman, I'm just reading out what the Supreme Court said on the 14th of November 2022. The Supreme Court had said that religious conversions by means of force, allurement or fraud may ultimately affect the security of the nation and freedom of religion and conscience of citizens, while it also directed the centre, in fact, to step in and clarify what it intends to do to curb compulsory or deceitful religious conversions. This is what the Supreme Court of the country has said, and it has directed the centre. So in that light, is this not a valid provision of law, in your view?
Good evening to all my co-panelists. Good evening to you. Madhav, my take on this, that there was no need actually to introduce this, because we already had the 493 section IPC, so which had already covered the entire aspect. Then where was the need for this, to introduce this? Because 493 already covers whatever has been said in 69 para today, which was in the bill which was introduced by the Home Minister. So I think it is just nothing, but the BJP wants to send across a message to the people and to to the majority of the country, who it feels they are their voters, that we are trying to do something which would suppress the other 15% or 18% in the country. So this is the message. But they are forgetting that this will lead to the disintegration of the society, and it will cause unnecessary.
How will it lead to
confusion among the
disintegration, sir?
society.
Protecting women will lead to disintegration?
No, I'm talking about this. See, as far as this clause is concerned, I don't see anything wrong in this.
Did not deal with
But it is
suppression
only
of
the
identity, fact
I
check.
don't see anything wrong in this. I don't think anything wrong in this. Word by word. If you want, I can read. Whoever by deceitful means.
No, we've read the provision.
Exactly. So there is nothing wrong in this. But it is only the intention of the government
Okay.
to send across a message to the people of the country.
Okay, it is the intent. It is the intent that is questionable. Nirmal Kaur, I want you to comment on this. As an IPS officer, ma'am, through the course of your career, you would have interacted with a number of victims of various types of crimes. Is this not a provision that is relevant in the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita? Because there are objections being raised that the government's intent, as per past actions, is leading us to bring out these questions. And there are also, of course, those who say that love jihad may be invoked, but there are certain cases, like in the case of a Mumbai actress and so on and so forth, where love jihad was invoked, but of course there was no such angle or nothing that was proven as per the police and the investigation later. Nirmal Kaur.
See, it's difficult to prove. It's difficult to prove. That's why to have a preventive and deterrent section perhaps will help matters. I want to make two major points, after listening to the discussion. One is that law has to be responsive to the changing needs of a society. Like the IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act, which these three codes intend to replace Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita and Bharatiya Sakshya Sanhita, the Indian Evidence Act. They were made in 1865 by Lord Macaulay and totally, copy-paste of the Anglo-Saxon law. Their law has this common law, when the 1215, that common law has developed in England in a very different way. They have such strong traditions and institutions in place. We have no traditions, we have no institutions compared to the British institutions or the British traditions in jurisprudence, in legal systems and all. Out here, though, we need very codified things.
Okay.
Very codified things. And this is, sir, replacing something which is, almost 2 centuries old.
Yes.
175-year-old. I think it is need of the hour.
Completely out of time. Tushar Gupta, Ratan Sharda, Nirmal Kaur, Abdul Razak Khan, Kamruzaman Chaudhary and Khalikur Rahman. Thanks so much for joining us on this very important topic. Debate number 1 on the Newshour Agenda.